Excuse me. Good morning. Rise and shine. Ready or not, let's do this. This is a ridiculously early morning webinar to get your day started off right, whether you're ready for it or not. There's a little bit of mindset, a little bit of business sense, something for your MLM, network marketing, small business, brick and mortar, online or off, to get it up and running like a well-oiled machine. Whether you are a newbie, a seasoned veteran, or somewhere in between, there is something here for you. Welcome. My name is Mina. I'm coming to you from New York City, out in the borough of Queens. I created this webinar to push myself out of my comfort zone and to share with you my experiences growing my business online and a lot of the great information that I find that I use in my personal development, in my marketing development, with the aim and goal to help you grow alongside with me. Let's grow into success together. How are you doing today, folks? Today is Thursday, January 29th. We are approaching the end of the month and February is right around the corner. Boy, does time fly. Time does fly. And that's why time is so precious. We got to learn how to use it wisely, day in and day out. This webinar, this hangout, is always broken up into two different portions. There's always a mindset moment, a mindset portion, and there's always a business sense portion where I share a business tip that you can use in your business right away. For today's mindset moment, it's all about legacy. And let me start with this question. Do you know who Zig Ziglar is? Jim Rohn? Do you know people like John Maxwell, Les Brown, Anthony Robbins? What is it about these people that makes them so memorable? Well, with Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar, they're no longer with us, but what they've left behind is a legacy. And that is the focus of the mindset portion of this hangout. It's all about leaving a legacy. Now, what is a legacy? Well, it is a way to instill in people to remember you and to carry on what you started. So Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar are known as leaders in business. A lot of people in the small business industry, in the home business industry, network marketing, they refer constantly to Zig Ziglar, to Jim Rohn. You see their inspirational quotes abound across the internet. You can find their teachings on YouTube. And what they left behind are legacies. This is a quote I'm going to read to you by political commentator Walter Lippmann. He said this: "The final test of a leader is that he leaves behind in others the conviction and will to carry on." If you are watching the replay of yesterday's hangout, we spoke about Alexander the Great, and he was not so great. And why is that? Well, Alexander the Great was a great conqueror in taking over lands and territories to have as his own. He was not very good in the administrative part. He was a great motivator, and he got his men, his soldiers, to march thousands of miles, even in extreme harsh conditions, all for the conquest. But he put little thought in developing a successor, someone who would lead after him. In fact, I think he got a little paranoid that he killed off anybody who would be a successor. And so while because he did not invest in the leadership of his people, his kingdom disintegrated not so long after he died. Do you want to be remembered that way? I'm sure you do not. John Maxwell, he teaches that legacies that matter are connected with people. 100 years from now, people are not going to care about the buildings you acquired, the money you made. They're going to care about how you made them feel and what you taught them, and if you taught them to be self-sufficient. And that is what makes a legacy. There's a saying out there that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. John Maxwell also believes in the opposite. When the teacher is ready, the student will appear. There are people out there that want to learn from you right now. They are waiting to be taught by you. And while you are thinking about, well, is it what I'm putting out effective? Think about what you've learned so far. If you've been in the home business industry, or if you've been running your small business for some time now, and the stuff that you've learned along the way. That stuff that you know in terms of mindset, in terms of business sense, in terms of these little tweaks that you know how to run your business online, somebody would like to know about that. So you can start creating your own webinars. You can start writing your own blog posts. You can create your own videos and do a little bit of video marketing, because there is somebody out there who is waiting to be taught by you. And while it doesn't seem like anybody is watching you right now, rest assured somebody is watching you. Somebody could be one person, could be two people. So your job and my job as leaders is to put what we know out there, and people will find it. So when the teacher is ready to teach, the students will appear. Keep that in mind. John Maxwell also said this: the greatest legacy a leader can leave is having developed other leaders. Develop them as widely and as deeply as you can. Now let me ask you this. Working in a small business, working with leaders, have you ever been placed in a situation, I'm not meaning in a bad way, where you feel constantly challenged, where you're giving a task that you think is insurmountable, you think that you can't even tackle, that every time you try to do that task, it's really difficult, and you find constant challenges? Say you have to speak in front of a crowd, or you speak in front of a small group, or you're placed in a situation where you need to teach in another language. And I'm speaking from experience, because that is what I experience right now. And I feel myself being consistently challenged. And maybe because I'm a perfectionist and I try to do things perfectly, nothing can ever come out perfect. But I feel that constant challenge. And sometimes you feel like you want to throw in the towel, but don't do that. After reading this blog post by John C. Maxwell, I realized that it is leaders who I work with are putting me in this situation so that I can grow. And I imagine when the same thing is happening to you, the leaders that you follow, the leaders that you are working under, are learning from, are putting you in these situations and are pushing you out of your comfort zone so that you grow and you develop and your character develops. And even though you don't realize it right now, you are learning along the way. Every task that you complete and you learn from, and you realize, okay, the next time around I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it better than I did it right now. So you're in a consistent learning process, but also realize that that leader is developing the leadership in you, the leader in you, so that when that leader has moved on, you can still carry on that legacy. Let's see. Let me look at my notes. Okay. So John Maxwell says, if you want to invest in people, leave a legacy. If you want to leave a legacy, invest in people. Let me say that again. If you want to leave a legacy, invest in people. You're probably now thinking about, well, how do I do that? How do I invest in people? Well, everything does start with you. You need to invest in yourself first. You need to invest in personal development. You need to learn your craft well. If you are an online marketer, you need to learn the nuances of internet marketing. Or start with attraction marketing. Attraction marketing is really huge. And why is it really huge? Well, it leads to the most solid results. It leads to the best residual income. And what is attraction marketing? It is essentially investing in people. It is creating relationships, rock solid relationships. It is not going out there looking for the quick buck. You're going out there and being a servant leader. You're going out there to see how you can help others grow, how you can help others learn so they can sustain themselves. And what John Maxwell said is this: people are what matter in this world. Not money or fame or buildings or organizations or institutions, only people. That is what matters in this world. People are not going to remember what you did, what you achieved, the money you made, the organizations you built. People are going to remember how you made them feel. If you make people feel good, if you invest heavily in their leadership, if you show them how they can sustain themselves, they're going to remember you for that. And that is why people like Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn are very memorable from the people they've influenced. And that is why people like Anthony Robbins, Tony Robbins, his son Jarek Robbins, people like Brendan Bouchard, people like Les Brown and John C. Maxwell, they are creating legacies because what they are doing is they're investing in people. They're teaching people leadership skills. They're teaching people to be self-sustainable so that they in turn can further their teachings into other people. They just pass it on. My coach and mentor, Diane Hokeman, she's passing on the knowledge that she has learned from her mentors, and one of her mentors was Jim Rohn. She is teaching us all that she knows. And she made us promise that when we implement what we've learned from her and we see the results and we know it well, that we also pass it on to others. So what she is doing, she's leaving a legacy that was passed on to her from her mentors. And we will be doing the same once we've built our businesses and we have rock solid foundations. We are going to pass on that knowledge down to our successors. And that is the essence of leaving a legacy. John Maxwell said this: achievement comes to people who are able to do great things for themselves. Success comes when they lead followers to do great things for them. But a legacy is created only when leaders put their people into a position to do great things without them. Let me read the last part of that quote. A legacy is created when leaders put their people into a position to do great things without them. So think about your business. Think about the people who are part of your team. Are you investing in them? Are you teaching them to be able to work without you when you pass on? Don't be another Alexander Not So Great. Invest heavily in your people. Practice that transformational leadership. And if you don't know what transformational leadership is, I encourage you to seek out Doug Fireball in SoundCloud. He has a great channel on SoundCloud called The Fire Zone by Doug Fireball, and he talks about transformational leadership. And in that teaching, he shows you how you can be a transformational leader. And in doing so, you start to leave your own legacy. Okay? The legacy of successful leaders, this is what John Maxwell also said, the legacy of successful leaders lives on through the people they touch along the way. The only things you can change permanently are the hearts of the people you lead. And that is the mindset portion of this hangout. Now it's time for the business sense moment. And I'm going to talk about batching. Let me start with this question. Do you feel like you don't have enough hours in the day? You know you have to create your content. You know you have to network. You know you have to email your list. But things happen, hiccups along the way that derail you. And you feel like you have so much to do, but you can't get it done. Well, I learned this technique from my good friend Bert Bledsoe. He talked about batching. Now, what is batching? Batching is grouping similar tasks into one whole task so that you save time. And I'm going to refer to an article here that talks all about batching. It is by Michael Hyatt. And he wrote this post in 2011. I think this was a guest post. Well, it's called How to Use Batching to Become More Productive. And pretty much here, how he defines batching is a form of time management that allows a person to maximize concentration and decrease distraction. As a result, it increases your productivity, your creativity, and mental sharpness, while decreasing fatigue, procrastination, and stress. It's grouping similar tasks that require similar resources in order to streamline their completion. So here are some examples of batching. Say you are a blogger, but you you know that to do a blog, all the steps to create a successful blog includes writing the blog, doing the research before writing the blog to make sure you have the information you need to write that blog. And then there's the keywords. You have to put in the keywords, and you have to do the appropriate SEO and to make sure that the keyword is in your title, is in your content, it is in your meta description, even in the images that you use in your blog post. So it takes a great amount of time. And then when you publish the blog post, you need to also publish it across your social media. So it takes a really long time to do a successful blog post. So when you batch your blog posts, you dedicate a day to write all your blog posts for the week. And you set up the schedule, so when they're going to go out, et cetera, so that you have the rest of the week free to do other things like to network and meet new people. The same can be done with video marketing. You can get all done up in one day and film all your videos in one day and set them up and do the appropriate SEO and schedule them so they're posting every day of that week. The same goes for posting on Facebook. You know that on Facebook you can schedule your posts on your fan page. Say you're promoting a webinar. You can also batch how you schedule those posts in one day so they are posting randomly throughout the week or randomly several times a day. There are apps like the Buffer app where you can batch all your posts for Twitter and all your other social media so that you're posting at random parts at certain times during the day, and you're keeping your pages active. And while that content is being posted, you can actively engage with people on your feed. So that is what batching does. They say there are several variations of batching, and in this article it talks a lot about the Pomodoro technique, and which is, here's how it works, the Pomodoro technique. Plan and prioritize the tasks that need to complete it by writing them down. There's power in writing things down. When you write stuff down, those things come to fruition. Writing them down physically with pen and paper. The second part of the Pomodoro technique is to set a timer for 25 minutes and devote that time to a task or to a group of similar tasks. And it says here that larger tasks can be broken down into multiple blocks or Pomodoros, and smaller tasks like responding to email, returning phone calls, etc., can be grouped into a single block. And after completing each Pomodoro, you put an X next to it and mark the number of times that you were distracted. Number 3 is to take a 5-minute break. And number 4 is to begin another block of time or Pomodoro. And then number 5 is after completing 4 Pomodoros, take an extended 20-minute break. So that is in one day when you're batching tasks into one day. So you can batch tasks according to the Pomodoro technique in one day, or you can batch tasks according to what I just shared with you with what I learned from Bert and what I've learned from other leaders as well. Dedicating one day for writing all your blog posts for the week, or dedicating one day to filming all your video stuff for the week. So batching is a very effective technique to help increase your productivity, to help save time and save your sanity and and have less stress. So I will leave the information that I read out to you in the description bar below. I want to thank you for stopping by today on Rise and Shine, Ready or Not, Let's Do This, Hangout number 52. Happy Thursday to you. Have a great day. If you enjoyed the information I shared with you here today, share it with a friend or two. Leave a comment below and tell me how you found me, and tell me what techniques you do to save time, what productivity hacks that you have and that you use that is effective for you to save time. We'll be back tomorrow, Friday, same time, same channel, 7 a.m. Eastern. Enjoy your day, folks. Thank you for stopping by. This is Mina coming to you from New York City out in the borough of Queens. Take care. See you tomorrow.